Did Jada just give this Spanish bullfighter the best figure from the line? Here's a look at the Jada toys. Street Fighter II, the final challengers, Vega. Step into the arena with the ultimate Street Fighter II Vega 1/12 scale action figure by Jada Toys. Known for his unmatched agility, ruthless precision, and striking good looks, Vega brings his unique blend of Spanish flair and ninja technique to life in this beautifully crafted collectible. A member of Shadaloo and a master of the Claw, Vega is ready to leap into battle with style and speed. Try to take your best shot, but just don't touch the face. Before, though, we get a closer look at the new Jada Toys Street Fighter II Vega, I'd like to first back it up just a bit and thank the folks over at Jada that provided this sample we could have a look at here. I'm going to be also bringing in a second some other Street Fighter figures that we've already had a look at, but things first. Let's take the tape measure and see how tall the figure stands. Vega, if I'm looking at this correctly, and I like to hope that I am, it's going to stand at 6 3/4 inches in height, working out to be a figure that's 16 centimeters tall. Not joining us for this review will be the band members KMFDM. However, we will be bringing in those Street Fighters Chun-Li. As if you've seen the Street Fighter animated movie, one of my favorite battles was between Vega and Chun-Li. You can see that size-wise, Vega's going to be a little bit taller. It doesn't change, though, that much when we bring in the likes of Guile. Guile is about somewhat of a similar size, though Guile just has the hair. Let's also bring in Shadaloo member of Shadaloo Leader. Here's also what they look like with Bison. I know I always forget these, but included along with the figure, you get yourself a background insert that features the stage select for Vega. Of course, you can always display your figures along with them. Most of the time, though, I tend to discard these just because they take up so much more space. I like to have a lot of my figures together. But I think it's cool, though, the fact that Jada does always include things like this and more specific to the character itself. Let's move this out of the way, though, and now the accessories that come include with Vega. You get yourself 2 different types of heads. You get yourself as well his mask, 2 swappable hands, a different claw that's going to go on this side of the figure's body, and a slash effect as well. Where do we want to look at things first? Okay, what we'll look at is his slash effect. Now this is all done here in a very rubbery, clear, kind of more translucent, smoky plastic. When you're looking actually to install this onto the blades, there's holes on the inside here. You probably can even see it for yourself. These little breathing holes will actually line up then with the blades, and you just sort of slide the blades in there. It's not an easy thing, I will admit, to do, because a lot of times you're getting one in, and then it always seems like you're missing out on another. But they slide in place. I know I kind of really have missed out one, but at least it gives you a nice cool slash effect, especially if you're looking to put this guy in a dynamic pose. With the fact that he also does have built-in wire frames for his little sash that he has around his belt, there's definitely opportunities there to get this guy in interesting poses than just doing the vanilla like we're doing right now. He does also have another claw weapon. So how it really works is that the claw goes on this side of the figure's body when you get him out of the packaging. However, though, there is another configuration. A lot of times, too, in the game, he has the claw on this side of his hands. And this is actually more accomplished, not where the claw is actually part of this hand. So if you look at this, how they've done this is that the claw is part of this hand. It's not wrapped around or anything like that. So when you go to remove this, you remove the claw along with the hand, just like that. This claw, though, is different in the sense that it actually has to clip around one of the gestured hands that he has over here. So, like, while you also have to swap this out, you have to kind of keep this in mind, too, that if you remove the claw, the only other options available are his dynamic hands. So while we're doing this right now, let's just pop the new hand in place on one side. And then how it works for his other claw is the claw, if you're looking at the two, they're very similar. I mean, like, it'd be hard pressed to see that one is any bit different than the other. And whereas this one would have been molded to the hand, how it works then with the other is that with the fingers, you kind of have to take this piece and I don't want to say like really wedge it, but you have to get them around the fingers. Now, I thought there also may have been an easier way where you could take it from the back and slide it up, but then you're going to have to get it around the thumb. No, a little bit of perseverance. Just get that around his fingers, bend the finger around there. You could, I suppose, also bend the plastic out, but with the very thin nature and how very little give there is, I think it's just easier to fight this around the fingers, and then you have the claw that way. So, of course, we're going to do the same on the other side. We're just going to pop the hand off the provided peg and then replace it with the new claw hand, just like that. And you could bring it obviously down a little bit too. There's going to now be a little left behind space between, of course, his bracer or his bracelet and the claw tool. Again, it works the same way too. Just because it's on the opposite side doesn't mean it doesn't work. Just take the claws and slide them into those holes. You almost even need really a magnifying glass to see kind of where you're going. But like lead the blades in. Again, I've only got, a couple of these in, but you get the idea. You get the idea. I would certainly have an easier time doing this if I wasn't looking straight through the camera to pull this off. But yeah, the blades basically just stick in there, and then you got yourself, again, that effect piece on the other side of the figure's body. While we're in the matter of changing things, the figure does also have a swappable head sculpt. Now, he does have his prettier face, although he doesn't look all that, he's all that happy. And then he does also have a mask. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, could not the mask, being that it's made of softer plastic, not fit over top of the figure's face? It's not really intended that way. I mean, if you try to fit this around the face that he has, you're only going to be stretching the mask. So again, we're going to get this down. I'm going to entertain any ideas you may have to do this. And we're just kind of fit this over top of the figure's face. I mean, you can already see how it distorts the shape of the mask. It really isn't intended to go over top of his face. It's more as a display piece. So if, for example, you want to kind of just take this, you can just clip this around his blades and have the figure displayed that way. Or you can also have it just draped over top of his fingers. Just kind of wrap it in between the piggies. Piggies aren't going to the market. Well, I guess they are going to the market, but they're shopping for masks. And just sort of display it that way. The last thing that we'll look at when it comes to Vega is that he does also have the swappable face. Now, so if you're more used to Vega not having his face visible like this, there's always the option of having the mask already attached onto the face where it's all molded as one piece. Less fuss, less fighting, less stretching of the plastic. This works so much easier. The hair is very similar too, as well as his ponytail. They're using more of a softer plastic for both. And again, we're just going to pop the head off from the peg, replace it then with the new masked head. And we're actually kind of doing things in the reverse order. I think did the mask come with, I think actually we are doing it the right way. The mask was, though, a separate piece. Well, this masked head was separate in the tray. So that's what we get, though, with Vega. I think since then, they've actually shown some media pictures of what Vega's going to be looking like from the upcoming Street Fighter movie. I guess he looks okay. I mean, as long as he pulls the job of, he certainly looks like he's going to be a bigger build than the original Vega from the Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter film. Some of the casting on that was questionable, but I do certainly like the way they've molded the figure. This is one thing I've certainly said with all the Jada Toys Street Fighter figures, is that the plastic feels good. It's a good, comfortable plastic where it doesn't feel like it's brittle. It's got kind of give to it. It's got a good bit of flexibility to it as well. It always kind of feels like it's really good plastic. Again, when it comes to the design of Vega, obviously he's got the mask this time now. He's got the little symbol there on the side that matches then the wrapped around serpent that he has on his torso. Paint on this, it looks pretty good. There's no real area that I can see on the figure where it looks unfinished. Like the serpent even wrapped around his bicep looks clean all the way around. I would imagine they probably would have printed this onto the figure's torso rather than actually clearly they wouldn't have been able to hand paint this at all. Gold looks good, though. He's got the gold there on his bracer on the one side. His bracelet down below, matching color there of gold. Nice striping down the side. Yellow looks clean, too. That was one issue I was kind of really going to be concerned with. Thinking, though, that the yellow would look unfinished, I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that they did a nice job of painting that stripe. The stripe obviously is going to break up a bit depending on how you're going to swivel the legs around. When you move it out like this, you're going to break up what would have been a generally straight line all the way down. Then, of course, he does have himself his bullfighting attire here. He does have a little sash on the side. Now, the sash actually is a real fabric. They've also taken the liberty of adding a wire built into this so you can bend the sash around. The sash only really hooks onto this little provided hook on the side. I suppose you'd be able to detach this, but then you'd have to fight this down, and then where is it going to go after that? Plus, I would really worry, too. This is the one part of the figure I was talking about, like forgiving plastic. This little hook, just be careful of it. You don't want to clip this by mistake because that would break. All in all, though, a really nice-looking Vega. I'm kind of really compelled to get two of these just so I could display one because it's too good of a head sculpt, I feel, to put back in a bag somewhere. For me, I would generally like to display Vega with the mask on myself. Always really, when I played Vega in the game, obviously you usually would have the mask on. All in all, just really, again, nice-looking figure for this guy. Now for his articulation, if you're familiar with the Street Fighter stuff that we've gotten from Jada Toys, more of the same. Head's going to be on a ball joint, so it allows the head to rotate all the way around. Despite really having long hair like this, it doesn't at all cause conflict when it comes to head rotation. The head can look down quite a bit and move up as well. In addition to the ball joint, he's got a ball joint at the base of the neck, so you can do more of the same there. The upper torso is going to be obviously on the ball joint. Lower from that, even though it's just behind the sash, he does also have a ball joint at the base of his abdomen. His arms do rotate all the way around, this side also as well. You can bring the arms out comfortably at 90 degrees. I say comfortably, this one is a little tighter admittingly, but he also does have, noticing here as well, he does also have the crunches, so you can bring the shoulders further forward and also bring them back as well. So you can get some pretty cool looking poses. Oh, that looks neat. Now for the legs, again, more of the same. So with the legs, how they work is that they're on ball joints, so you can bring the legs out at a full splits. You can take those legs, sure enough, and move them forward and back. There's a swivel there a little bit at the top of the thigh, but there is certainly more down below. About 3/4 of the way up the thigh, there's a swivel cut that allows the leg to do what it's doing right now. The figure's legs do have a double hinge on the knee. I have a harder time really to bend the top joint of the knee. The bottom end of it is certainly easy there, but I don't know, the top of the knee is just, it's really tight in the figure. And I would rather, again, having a tight joint than an overly loose joint. There is actually no articulation here for the top, where the lower of his leggings match up to his pants. I thought there may have been a cut right there. There is, though, a cut down below, so you can rotate the feet all the way around that way. Then, of course, he does have his ankle pivot. He has his ankle rocker. No toe articulation, but the figure does certainly have pegs on the bottoms of his feet. The beauty of these figures, though, is not only is the plastic really good, but also, too, they have lots of posability options available. There's a lot that you can really do then with Vega. Again, you can go ahead and take yourself the swooshing effect, which again just kind of hooks in place. I don't think, am I going to get it all in there? I don't think I will. But these basically, again, I'm going to try my best to get all 3 of them in there. Tiny little holes, equally small blades. There we go. All right. And we get ourselves Vega in a really cool looking pose. Vega's pretty high on my list for how well he's been executed. I think he's done a nice job. I think Jada has done a nice job of giving us Vega here. Vega, of course, now we have him in the company of both M. Bison, Guile, and of course the one he battles after she comes out of the shower, Chun-Li. One of the iconic scenes from the original animated Street Fighter movie was the fact that when she battles Vega, Vega came out of nowhere, sneaking and surprising her. But again, she stood her own, fought her own, and then she battled off Vega before Guile came up. Again, just a really neat looking figure. The coloring looks good, though, on Vega. The only thing I would really, again, say is like the head is just, I feel, too good to want to put back in the packaging. More, again, like the nudge that I may need to get another one of these Vegas so I can have 2 on display. Ideally, if I had to choose just one, and let's say I only have the one Vega, I would only really probably likely display him then with the mask on his face. If I had the choice, and then I had a second one, again, the head sculpt, I think Jada's done a really nice job on the unmasked face. If that's the way that you would like to display Vega, you have that available. You also have the claw effect, where you have the claw piece, where you can either have it on this side of the figure's arms or on this side instead. Granted, again, keep in mind that the claw is going to be attached permanently onto one hand, where in this one, you have to kind of fight it over top of the fingers. It's one little bit of an issue that I have with the figure where I kind of feel like as I'm putting it on his fingers, I'm really worried with that little bit of ledge that plastic has, that it's going to snap. It hasn't happened so far, and I'm likely just going to leave it the way it is. I think the figure of Vega could have suffered considerably had Jada decided that the mask be the thing that is removable on the figure's face, because stretching plastic like this, it never really works. If you stretched it over the front of the face for Vega, it would have looked wrong, it would have looked out of place, and it would have looked the wrong size. Instead, they realized it was just a smarter thing to include a secondary head portrait, so that the mask is more of a showpiece. It's not something that's ever intended to go over top of the face. If you really want a masked Vega, well, you already have a head anyways that comes along with the figure. In addition to that, obviously some swappable hands and a claw accessory that you can decide which side of the figure's body that you have. One thing I thought that was also clever on Jada's part, that they made the claw the same size for both. Nothing would have sucked more, though, than having that slash effect being dedicated only to one side of the figure's body, that if you do decide you want to change the claw to the other side, you then have to sacrifice the slash. We don't. It's part of that, and it works the exact same way. It's a finicky thing to get all 3 blades slid inside of that, but if you do and succeed, you can get this guy some pretty cool looking poses. Always at possession, it's in this figure's possession, is the same with all the other Street Fighter figures. A lot of posability. There's so much really that you can do with this. The plastic is forgiving. The articulation points, there's certainly enough of them that you can get a lot more of an interesting pose, I'm sure, than I'm doing right now as we wrap up this review. All in all, though, I think I would put Vega pretty high on my list of Street Fighter figures we've gotten from Jada, at least the top 3. Him, probably I would say Guile, and Blanca. Blanca probably are my top 3 favorite figures. What's yours? Let me know down below in the comments section. A big thank you again to the folks over at Jada Toys that did provide this sample of brand new Street Fighter 2. This was Vega. Vega. Oh, makes me want to watch that Street Fighter 2 animated movie again. It was Vega. If you guys did enjoy this video, do it a solid. Come on now and hit it with a like. You guys want to stick around for more so? I hope so. Hit the subscribe, turn on that bell, and of course come back. We're going to be wrapping up things right now in the world of Shadaloo, but there will be more videos coming for the rest of this week. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.